There is a tiny mistake that wrecks more dreams than laziness ever could. It is not failing. It is how you feel about failing. Most people mess up, feel awful about it, and let that bad feeling talk them right out of trying again. They give up on building real self-discipline before they ever get going. But what if failure was never the enemy? What if every single failure was actually a victory in disguise? Stick around, because by the end this will completely flip how you see your own mistakes. So what is this mistake that traps so many people? It is letting discouragement win. Here is how it usually goes. You set a goal, you slip up, and instead of brushing it off, you feel embarrassed and defeated. That sting makes you want to avoid the whole thing, so you stop trying to improve. The failure itself did not stop you. Your reaction to it did. And that reaction is the real thief, because it convinces you that messing up means you are simply not cut out for this. But why does failure feel so bad in the first place? Because nobody likes looking weak or getting things wrong. From a young age, people learn that mistakes mean trouble, bad grades, or disappointed faces. So failing starts to feel like proof that something is wrong with you. The problem is that this belief is completely backwards. Failing is not proof that you are incapable. It is proof of something far more important, something almost nobody stops to recognize in the moment. So what does failure actually prove? It proves you tried. Think about that for a second. You cannot fail at something you never attempted. Failure only shows up when you step into the arena, take a risk, and go for something that matters to you. That means every failure is evidence of courage. It is a receipt that says you were brave enough to try while plenty of other people stayed safely on the sidelines, never risking anything at all. This is why failure can honestly be called a victory from the very start. How can losing be winning? Because the moment you attempt something hard, you have already beaten the version of you that was too scared to begin. The person who tries and falls short is miles ahead of the person who never tries at all. One is learning, growing, and gathering experience. The other is stuck, comfortable, and standing still. By that measure, your so-called failure already put you in the lead. History is packed with proof of this. So many of the people we admire most failed over and over before they broke through. Inventors who flopped hundreds of times, athletes cut from their teams, writers rejected again and again, all of them kept going. What set them apart was not some magic talent that protected them from failure. It was that they refused to let failure end the story. Their long lists of mistakes were not signs of weakness. They were the messy, necessary road to everything they eventually achieved. There is an even bigger secret hiding inside every failure. What is it? Information. Each time something does not work, it teaches you exactly what to adjust. It shows you where the weak spot is, which approach flopped, and what to try differently next time. The most successful people on earth are not the ones who never failed. They are the ones who failed constantly and treated every stumble as a lesson. They collected failures like clues, using each one to get a little bit better. This completely changes the goal of self-discipline. So what should you actually aim for? Not a perfect record with zero mistakes. That is impossible, and chasing it will crush you. The real aim is to keep going despite the mistakes. Discipline is not about never falling down. It is about how quickly you get back up and try again. When you stop expecting perfection and start expecting progress, failure loses its power to stop you, and suddenly the whole journey feels possible. But how do you actually bounce back instead of giving up? It starts with changing the story you tell yourself. When you slip up, the old voice says, "See, you cannot do this." The new voice says, "Good, you tried. Now what can you learn?" That small shift is everything. Instead of treating a mistake as a final verdict on who you are, you treat it as a single step in a long process. The failure becomes feedback, not a door slamming shut. Another powerful move is to separate what you did from who you are. Failing at something does not make you a failure as a person, any more than burning toast makes you a terrible cook forever. A failure is an event, not an identity. When you stop saying you are a failure and start saying that attempt did not work, you take away its sting. You become someone who experiments and learns, rather than someone weighed down by a label that was never true to begin with. It also helps to make your failures smaller and more frequent. Why would you want more failures? Because tiny, regular attempts take the fear out of messing up. If you only try big, rare, scary things, each failure feels enormous. But if you take small daily actions, each mistake is no big deal. Just a quick lesson and a fresh try tomorrow. Lots of little failures, handled with a calm attitude, add up to massive growth over time. They become your training reps. This is also the secret to beating the fear that stops so many people cold. When you know that failure is just feedback and proof of effort, the scary thing loses its grip. You no longer need a guarantee of success before you begin. You can take the shot, knowing that whatever happens, you come out ahead, either with a win or with a lesson. That freedom to try without dread is one of the most valuable things a person can ever build. There is one more powerful truth worth holding on to. What separates people who succeed from people who quit? It is almost never talent. It is their relationship with failure. The ones who win have simply failed more times than the quitters have even tried. They built a kind of friendship with failure, learning to expect it, welcome it, and squeeze the lesson out of it. They stopped seeing it as the end and started seeing it as part of the path. That mindset is available to absolutely anyone. It also takes practice, like any new skill. The first few times you reframe a failure, it might feel forced or even a little fake. That is completely normal. Keep at it, and over time this new way of seeing mistakes becomes your natural default. The automatic response you reach for without even thinking. So picture how different life looks once you adopt this view. Every time you stumble, instead of shrinking back in shame, you can stand a little taller because you know you were brave enough to try. You can look at the mistake, find the lesson, and step forward with more wisdom than you had before. Failure stops being something to fear and becomes something to use. That single shift can carry you further than any amount of natural talent ever could. In the end, the mistake that keeps people stuck is believing that failing makes them losers. The truth is the exact opposite. Failing makes you a person who showed up, took a shot, and gave yourself a chance to grow. It is a victory from the very first try, and a teacher for every try after. So the next time you fall short, do not hang your head. Recognize it for what it truly is, proof that you are in the game. If this changed how you see failure, give it a like and subscribe for more. Tell us in the comments about a failure that taught you something big. Pattern We Carry has more coming.